Good evening, everybody. I want to welcome you to New Moon Manifesting, and today we're going to be talking about the Libra new moon. So let me mute everybody so we don't get a lot of background noise, and let me share my screen. But not that one. Oh, I need you to move. There we go. And present. Okay. So hopefully you can see this okay. We're talking about this Libra energy, and this is all about balance in relationships. And as I was doing some research for writing the blog, the words inner balance kept coming up. And often when we're in relationships, we're often looking for parts of us that we want to heal. And, you know, maybe we're looking for balance or peace or, you know, more harmony or whatever in a relationship. But we really have to find that within us. And then as we project that into the world, we're going to attract people that mirror what we are projecting. So as I was writing this article, I was just thinking about, you know, how often I personally have done that, where I'm looking for something else when I need to create it. And that goes back to the law of attraction, where we'll actually attract to us based on what we're projecting. So if we're getting in relationships we don't want or don't like, then it's important for us to look within and create that balance within us so that we start attracting something different. So this Libra new moon is taking place tomorrow at 2:26 p.m. Eastern Time, 11:26 a.m. on the West Coast. This is a supermoon, and that means that the moon is going to be closer, so it's going to appear larger. But as it's closer to the Earth, it's affecting the plate tectonics, it's pulling on our psyche, it's affecting the gravitational pull. So a supermoon can often feel like a full moon because there's so much energy that's stirring and so many emotions that are being brought to the surface. So kind of keep that in mind as we're going through the next 2.5 to 3 days, that this too shall pass, that we will move, the moon will quickly move into Scorpio, and it definitely will have a different feel at that point. It's going to be really heightening your awareness, your intuitiveness, helping you be in tune with what you really value. And we'll talk a little bit about some other planetary influences that are affecting how we value ourselves in relationship and how important that is, and how we are really in a space of being able to integrate what we've learned in relationships and how we've grown as a result of relationships, and take our relationships and ourselves to the next level. So as it's really easy. Before we actually got on the call, we were talking about betrayal a little bit, and we've all gone through some sort of betrayal, and we throw up walls, and our fear is we're going to have other relationships that mirror past relationships or stir up the pain that we've experienced as a result of those. And yeah, that may be true to a certain extent, but we've also grown as a result of those. So if you can look back at relationships, lessons that you've learned, how you've grown as a result of them, and really integrate those, you know, those skills, it's going to support you in the next relationship. So whether it's romantic relationships or partnerships, such as business partnerships or friendships, this will be a good time of really looking, you know, taking that hard look at what works for you in relationships, what doesn't, what you still need to balance within yourself so that you're projecting what it is that you're wanting back. Now, Libra is an air sign. So air signs always bring in kind of the light and airy side of life. It's often a very mental access. So you want to, you know, sort of process the emotions and the thoughts that are coming through before you anchor those. So you're not, you know, you may have fleeting thoughts about certain elements or relationships as you reflect on your life, but this will be a really good time to kind of clear the air of any of those stagnant relationships. And we'll do some energetic cleansing with emotions around relationships when we go into the meditation. Libra is all about balance, so justice, equality, and creating balanced relationships. So as we're going through the meditation, some of the things that I felt were important to release is injustices that we've had, inequity, feeling unheard, those types of things, so that we can really release that from our DNA and open ourselves up to shine more brightly. So in addition to the sun and moon come together and in Libra at 5 degrees. And we also have Mercury and Venus that are just slightly ahead of them. Mercury, Venus, and Mars are what are called personal planets because they move very rapidly. So they have a pretty quick influence on our lives. With the sun and moon and Mercury and Venus all in Libra, this is about integrating the masculine and feminine. Mercury is about communication and having effective communication, speaking up, speaking your truth, having your voice heard. Those are all very important elements in any relationship. If we give up and resign in a relationship, then we're not being fair to ourselves. So keep that in mind. If there's something that needs to be said, have those difficult conversations. Call upon your guides and ancestors to support you in giving you the right words and the right way to say something so that at least your voice is heard. And what happens next is ultimately up to the relationship in general, but as long as you're speaking your truth and expressing what is important to you, then you're honoring yourself in this process of relationships. Now, Venus in Libra, this is home base for Venus. So Venus is about love. It's about our self-worth and value. And so again, this is honoring your personal needs and relationships. And often I will bring this up with the Libra full moon because we're in the Aries energy, but there's a lot of other influences that are taking place that are really pointing the finger at what's important to you and making sure that you're honoring yourself in this process and really supporting what you need in all of your relationships. So I wanted to pull up a chart so that hopefully you can pull your astrology birth chart. It's always important to see where this is taking place in your chart so that you can set intentions specifically related to it. So as I mentioned here, we've got the sun and moon in Libra, and we also have Mercury and Venus. And for this person, it is taking place in their second house. So this relates to money, it relates to personal value, it relates to the job that they have, and those types of things. So this would be a really good time. Oh, and their birthday is also, they're a Libra also. I have a lot of Libra friends. So this is a really good time looking to see what's getting activated as a result of this. So for this person, obviously the sun and moon are going to be activating their sun very soon for their birthday. And Mars is at 1 degree for them from their natal sign. And Mars for all of us is just slightly behind Libra. It's still in Virgo. It's still kind of getting us to take action on those healthy habits. And in I think in less than a week, it's actually going to be moving into Libra as well. So Mars really does support us in taking those action steps. It can also drum up a lot of anger and frustration, and it's sort of that warrior type energy. So just keep in mind that, if stuff is coming up around relationships and you're feeling really triggered, that is probably Mars that's bringing all of that to the surface. Now, opposite of the sun and moon, we have Chiron in Aries, and Chiron is the wounded healer. It's reminded us of what emotional wounds we're still harboring and giving us the opportunity, the strength, the courage, the tools, whatever it is that we need to actually heal those. So it's healing that inner child and supporting us in opening ourselves up to greater levels of love. And again, that can be really difficult because it's easy to throw up walls when we've gone through situations where there's been betrayal, rejection, and other fears that are cropping up around relationships. So again, strengthening your relationship with you, honoring your personal boundaries, and as you set those with other people, making sure that you're sticking to them, this is going to help you in trusting yourself again, right? Because that's one of the biggest challenges of betrayal is, how could I have been so silly to believe blah, blah, blah? And it comes back to us in not trusting ourselves in that situation. And so this is going to be a process of learning to trust your heart and seeing the signs, because often we can look back at relationships and say, oh, I should have seen that because of this, that, and the other behavior. So when we can start to honor the signs when we see them instead of discounting, ignoring, this will help us in saying no to that relationship because it isn't supporting us based on what that person is projecting. Again, this is going to be a very personal new moon with the personal planets so close together with the sun and the moon. We also have 6 planets in cardinal signs. So the 2 cardinal signs that this is affecting is Libra and Capricorn. Now, cardinal signs are all about initiation. It's about starting something new. It's about integrating what you've learned with relationships and taking them to the next level. So if there are new relationships that are starting, just take note of that, of what's, how this relationship is different from other relationships that you've had, so that you really can honor yourself in this process. One interesting note with Pluto and Saturn in Capricorn. So Saturn recently moved direct, I want to say about a week ago, and Pluto moves direct on the 3rd. Now these are what are called outer planets. They move much more slowly. But if your life has been moving very slowly for the past 4 or 5 months, that's because of these retrograde planets. So this actually happened for me. I was just feeling like I was drudging myself through the mud, and it is because of these outer planets. Now what they are doing, Saturn is helping us in restructuring who we are. So if you're the type of person that's been doing the inner work, if you are facing your fears, if you're overcoming obstacles, if you're, disciplining yourselves and taking the steps that are necessary to do the healing work, this is going to be a fabulous time as we move throughout the rest of this year, because it is setting the stage. You've done the work, the groundwork is laid, you're setting that strong foundation on who you are and what you want to receive in this life. And as a result, you're going to receive great benefits. Now, Pluto is helping us in clearing up karmic issues and kind of healing what's behind the scenes. So kind of think about if there are any emotional wounds that you're still holding on to, any unforgiveness. This is going to be a great time for the next couple of months to really resolve that, because what happens in January is these 2 planets are going to be conjunct, which means they're right next to each other. Astrologers have been talking about this for years. So just take note that there are going to be a lot of changes in the outer world. And the more we can shore up what our inner world is doing, the easier it's going to be to navigate all of the challenges around us. And I'm not going to say that you're not going to be pulled off your center, because as people are upset or as things are transitioning, as long as you've got your tools to tune into, it's going to support you. So use your journaling, meditate, candle gaze, breath work, walking in nature, yoga, essential oils. All of these tools are going to help you every time you get pulled off course. You can pull yourself back into your lane and say, okay, I realize that there's a lot that's taking place around me, but I need to focus on what brings me back to center. And this doesn't mean having a strict ritual that you do something in the morning or something at night. It means anytime you're thrown off course during the day, go to the bathroom and breathe for 2 minutes, or go to your car and scream for a minute. Whatever it takes for you to pull yourself back in alignment will really support you as we're going through some of the challenges that may be coming up. So again, pull a chart based on, and look at it and see what's taking place for you. What house is this falling into? What planets from your birth chart are getting activated? And most importantly, this is going to be a time of following your heart. couple of my favorite essential oils for this new moon, bergamot and cassia. Both of these help support you feeling worthy, deserving, and they boost self-esteem. One of my other favorites is doTERRA's Balance Blend, as well as their Anchor Blend. Both of these help you feel anchored, grounded, connected with the earth. So as an air sign, we can often be flighty and all out there. We want to make sure that we're staying very grounded and anchored. So using tree oils, even frankincense, cypress, cedarwood, any of the fir oils, Siberian fir, Douglas fir, spruce oils, those will all support you in feeling more anchored and grounded so that you can adapt to kind of the airy energy that we're going to be in. I'll just talk about bergamot a little bit more. I'm going to talk about the oils that I had listed on this chart. So if you do want more information about them, you can stay on right after the new moon meditation, and I'll run through some of the essential oils and the physical as well as the emotional benefits of each of the oils for this new moon. So let's open up the lines and address. Oh, there's all my lovelies. I can't see when everybody's jumping on. I'm going to unmute you. So one of the questions that I have is, you know, what at this time, what's kind of coming up for you guys? What do you want to release, resolve, and integrate with this new moon? Anybody want to share? Crickets. I know, Kristen, you said betrayal, so we're going to work on that one. Or is there anything else coming up with this new moon that you want to discuss? Nothing?
Hi, Janice. Patricia.
Hi, Patricia. Welcome.
Thank you. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. What is coming to mind is I've started 2 new friendships, actually. And I had a very good friend of mine who passed away years ago. And I guess for a long time, I haven't really allowed myself to make friends. And I guess I'd like to heal that, to just allow myself to be open and let go of the fear that the person won't be around if I get close to them.
Yeah, that's a big one. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a really good one. Somebody's kitties in the background. So cute.
I have one also.
Yes, love.
This is on me. And I would like to release my holding on to past feelings of unworthiness, unbelongingness.
Okay.
And yeah, it just came up kind of spontaneously today in a table session I was getting. And I just realized, wow, I didn't know that was affected. It came out as really affecting my posture, how I hold my body.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Just making notes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's a big one for all of us. And again, that's that Chiron energy that's supporting us, as well as Venus and Libra, because, you know, she wants us to feel valued and appreciated and loved, and be in a just going into a relationship doesn't do that. We have to love ourselves first.
Yep.
Yeah, so important. Anyone else? Anything coming up for the past couple of days? Sometimes we get, you know, like she was just saying, we get that information and we think it's stuff that we've resolved, but if it's coming up, there's obviously a reason for the timing.
Right.
Hi, this is Jana.
Hi, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. You know what? It's been more like consistency in being disciplined about things has
Okay.
been coming up for me.
So as you're talking about that, the self-worth comes back to that, because if we're inconsistent, we can tend to beat ourselves up for being inconsistent, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So that consistency goes back to overcoming the self-sabotage of you not feeling worthy and deserving of whatever that goal is. So
Right.
yeah, the more you can, in fact, there's a little trick. Mel Robbins talks about this, how to outrun your brain. And you know, our brain is so good at tripping us up, right? Like whether we're hitting the snooze button time after time, or talking ourselves out of going to the gym, or
Yes.
you know, having that another cup of wine or whatever, glass of wine. And she says that you count backwards from 5. And it breaks the circuit of your brain being in this cycle. So what ends up happening is you count back 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and now you've engaged the frontal cortex, where you can be more and you can actually make better decisions. Because, you know, I'm thinking of myself, like I'm mindlessly going to the fridge and like opening it up, and it's like, oh yeah, there's the peanut butter fudge ice cream. I should get that out. Oh, that'd be so good, right? And then I have like 2 or 3 bites, and as I'm eating it, I'm like, I'm so sabotaging myself right now. But what if I looked in the fridge and was like, okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Do I really need this, right? Like I'm interrupting myself in that split second.
So you can halt it before it even comes to that. Got it. Okay.
Because, and I had a friend that she would say, I know I eat sugar all the time. I walk around and just grab, you know, gummy bears and whatever's in the house without even realizing that I'm doing it. And it's really easy that we get in these self-sabotaging patterns where we're betraying ourselves.
Yes.
If you're, you know, doing the things that you don't want to do that are avoiding you and, you know, achieving your goal, then you're really sabotaging yourself, and then you can beat yourself up for it.
Right.
So it goes back to the whole self-worth. Am I worthy and deserving of this goal? And even journaling about that will help you and identify, hey, yeah, I am deserving of this goal. I'm, you know, worth this and more. So, and when we can start seeing those changes and getting ourselves out of those patterns, we can create success in other areas of our lives, because this whole process is about really outrunning your brain and how you've been functioning in the past. So does that help?
I love that. Yes, it helps out a lot. I love that. And I think I've heard you mention that like maybe one time before, but I guess I didn't write down the concept to fully grasp it, but I think I have heard you mention that before.
Yeah, it's so important. I mean, we trick
sure.
ourselves to, you know, think we're outsmarting ourselves, but we're really destroying ourselves because, you know, we're not allowing ourselves to be, you know, our ultimate greatness, right?
Yes. Yeah, like trimming our wings.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Often talks about that our greatest fear is that we will see our true selves and our true worth. So, yeah. Okay, good.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Anyone else? Anything coming up that you want to throw on the list here that we can work on? I feel like somebody else has something to say, and there's not many of us, so please don't feel intimidated.
I think I maybe would add like outward presentation of like who you are. I seem to have a conflict between who I really am internally and how people perceive me to be, that they're really kind of opposite of each other.
Okay, so
don't
what's
know.
coming up when you say that is the word integrity, right? So if you're out of integrity with how you present yourself versus how you really are, then there's this disconnection. So one of the things that's kind of coming up is just making sure that you're, you know, how you're presenting yourself is how you want to be presented. Does that make sense?
It does, except that's the that's the conflict. It's not that I'm not purposely trying to present myself a different way. I almost wonder if it's, so I'm Cancer rising.
You're Cancer
And
rising?
yes.
So
And
you're
I'm a
sidestepping?
and I'm a Pisces sun. I feel like, so the Cancer rising, that's how I'm outwardly presenting. I don't know that it's sidestepping so much as I think it's the shell. The protective shell is what is over presented.
Yeah,
So basically, people think I'm much harder than I am when I'm actually super mushy.
You're like an M&M. You're crunchy on the outside and squishy on the end. So
exactly.
Cute. Yeah, I'm just kind of feeling into that to see if there's anything kind of coming up around it. Well, and this goes back, so it keeps coming back to heart center for me. I mean, with you, what I'm feeling, and the fear again of opening up. So if the betrayal is causing you to stay closed off, then yeah, they could see that the walls are up.
Mm-hmm.
So there needs to be an element of vulnerability. Do you use essential oils?
Some, but not very much.
Okay. Ylang-ylang, geranium, and like Siberian fir, Douglas fir over your heart for the next month, and see if things change.
Okay.
Ylang-ylang helps you, well, geranium helps release betrayal and trusting yourself and trusting relationships again. Ylang-ylang helps you reconnect with inner child to see the childlike wonder in life. And then there's an ancestral piece that's coming up. So this is a pattern in your family. So the fir oils will help resolve the ancestral piece in your DNA. I have a tickle in my throat. All right. Any other, anything else coming up that you want to bring up during our meditation? Nothing else? We're good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We've got a lot of work to do. So I will mute everybody during the meditation so we don't have any background noise, and hopefully my little throat tickle will go away. It never fails. As soon as you start talking, throat dries out and you can't talk anymore. Okay, let's go ahead and close your eyes. Hopefully you're in a place that you're free from distractions, and close your eyes. You can either do this sitting up or lying down. Just let your neck and back be aligned so that the energy is freely moving through your torso. Let's begin with a deep breath, breathing all the way down to the belly. And as you exhale, release the shoulders, opening up the space between the ears and the shoulders. Allowing the arms to be heavy, relaxed. Breathe in deeply through the chest. Just tracing the breath. Feel yourself expanding with the breath. And as you exhale, release any tension that you're holding in the upper back and the neck, the shoulders. Continue to breathe deeply and rhythmically, just settling into the moment. Using your breath and tracing your breath to keep yourself focused. As we're going through this process, I'll provide some guided imagery, but if your higher self has something else, please, by all means, please follow it. Trace the breath as it comes in through the belly, releasing any tension you're holding in the mid-body, allowing your hips to be heavy and relaxed, relaxing the legs, and allow the energy to move all the way down through your feet. And just imagine a beautiful white light encircling you, just like a bubble of light. You're in a space that's safe and protected. And this bubble of light only allows high vibration and love to permeate it. It's pushing away anything that no longer serves you, severing connections with anyone who no longer serves you. And take a deep breath in. And exhale, release. And bring your awareness to your heart. Tracing the breath as your heart expands. That you feel the chest rise and fall. And imagine that you're breathing a beautiful white gold light coming in through the crown of your head and into the center of your heart. This brilliant white gold light is helping burn out feelings of betrayal, any injustices, any inequity or inequality that you may feel in this or other lifetimes. And we call in the energy of your ancestors to encircle you at this time as well. And they're holding hands, encircling you. They're here to support you in releasing not only issues that you're addressing, but issues that are caught in your DNA that were their issues. And they're supporting you as you release feelings of betrayal, unforgiveness, the fear of opening up, the fears related to thinking you were in a loving relationship when it turned into something else. And take a deep breath in. And exhale, release. And as you're going through this process, just be mindful of your body and what's taking place. Using the breath, breathing through any pain, any suffering that you may be feeling at this time. And the tears may flow, and it's okay. It's a release. And you're letting this go to your creator, your ancestors, releasing it from your physical and emotional, spiritual body, allowing it to float away to the heavens, just like a helium balloon. Just see yourself letting it go. And use your breath to release any heaviness, Any walls that you've put up in your heart. Any fears you have about moving forward with relationships. And recognize that you've learned the lessons and now it's time to go to the next step. But this time you're going to step into it with your eyes open, allowing the right people in to support you. As you create inner balance within yourself, you'll attract others that also maintain inner balance. And take a deep breath in. And exhale, release. We want to draw in the characteristics of this rich and beautiful Libra new moon. We call in the properties of peace. And what brings you peace in life? What takes you to that peaceful place when you feel off balance? And feel that peace within your heart now. And use your breath and begin to expand that peaceful feeling throughout your body. And as you're faced with difficult people or situations, that you're able to tune in to this peaceful feeling. That allows you to let go of the walls, knowing that you're safe and protected. That your creators creating that level of protection and layer of protection. And trust that you are being protected. And as a result, it's okay to let go of your walls, anything that you're putting up, so that you can be open-hearted and allow the right people inside. And take a deep breath in. And exhale, release. And we bring in other characteristics of the Libra energy, feeling balanced within ourselves and relationships. That we're feeling equity, fairness, and justice. That we're projecting from these positive characteristics instead of fear of injustice or fear of unfairness. And see yourself beaming like the sun, of unconditional love, harmony, peace, balance, justice, equality. And just allow yourselves to integrate this feeling, tuning in to anything that's coming up at this time, any emotions that you're feeling. And with this powerful Libra energy, this is a great time of setting intentions. I create healthy relationships. I maintain balance in relationships. I maintain boundaries. Whatever it is that you need at this time, just see yourself setting those intentions. I communicate effectively in relationships. I communicate my needs in relationships. Just see everything stemming from within and that you're projecting it out. And the universe matches you. So if you're coming from a place of fear, it's going to match you with fear. If you come from a place of love and harmony and balance, it's going to meet you with that. So see yourself attracting the right people that are supporting you. And see yourself feeling worthy and deserving in receiving balanced relationships and healthy relationships to support your growth, your ideas, your friendships. You are worthy and deserving of love. And imagine yourself projecting that out into the world and see yourself receiving it back. Express gratitude to your ancestors and your guides for supporting you in this process. And express gratitude to your Creator for honoring yourself and taking this time to support your growth. As you bring yourself out of this activity, you may have ideas and inspiration, specific messages, or maybe feelings. It's smart to write them down right away so you don't forget them. And begin wiggling your fingers and toes, bringing yourself back into physical body, physical form. And when you feel that your processing is complete, go ahead and open your eyes. So the word receiving kept coming up. And it was interesting because that's been coming up a lot today and actually over the past week. When I walk out of my house, there's often little spider webs, that I get hit in the face with as I'm walking through the garden. And I had to look up the energy medicine of spiders because I've actually had a lot of spiders in the house too. And so as I was looking up the energy medicine of spiders, one of the things that is said was to be in a receptive state. The spiders create their web and then they wait for their prey to show up, right? Like they're not going out there and being busy and sort of trying to entice it to come to them. And so as I walk through spider webs now, or if I see a spider, my mantra is, thank you for reminding me to receive, because it's really easy to always be in that giving, kind of busy and being mode that it causes me to slow down and actually receive. So anybody else that's been experiencing kind of the receiving, because I kept feeling a lot of feminine energy come in with this meditation around receiving. So anyone else notice anything? Anyone else have anything interesting
Yes.
show up during meditation? Go ahead.
Along the idea of receiving, I've been asking specifically to be open to receiving gifts and protection from my ancestors in particular, and I had a wonderful meeting in the supermarket, and we exchanged information, and we're on the same nutrition path and everything, and presenting, and it was a great beginning of a new friendship, I think. So that was happy.
Yeah,
Receiving.
that's beautiful. Yeah, you never know when you're going to receive, right? So it's being open all the time.
Right.
Anyone else have anything interesting come up for them in meditation?
I didn't have anything interesting come up, but I did have a question about if this new moon is falling in the 4th house.
So it's kind of interesting because 4th house typically relates to the Cancer energy. So 4th house relating to nurturing, self-love, nurturing others, the feminine energy. So this would be a really good time to really express your femininity, whether it's wearing more dresses or whatever makes you feel pretty and feminine. That this would be a good time to really embrace that. And I feel like as you do, it's going to open up that other piece about having the hard shell, and express who you really are.
Okay.
Anyone else? Other questions, comments? All right, well, we will wrap up for tonight. Anybody that wants to stay on for essential oils, we'll talk about those for a few minutes. If you have questions and didn't get them addressed, please reach out and I will help you the best that I can. But thank you for being here tonight. I hope you have a fabulous Libra new moon, and I'll see you on the Scorpio new moon call in a month.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Have a
Thank
great
you.
night.
Bye.
Bye.